Hello students, in the last session we have studied about general structure of Java program. In today's session we will discuss Java tokens. You might have already studied about tokens in C programming. We will study tokens now in Java. So let's start. Okay, Java tokens. Tokens are smallest individual units in a program. A Java program is a collection of tokens, comments, and white spaces. Java includes 5 different types of tokens. These are identifiers, keywords, literals, operators, and separators. So these are 5 Java tokens. Each of this we will study in brief one by one. So let's start. First, identifiers. As you know, identifiers are tokens that represents names. So these names can be assigned to variables, methods, and classes to uniquely identify them to the compiler. So in general, in simple, I can say identifiers means simply names assigned to variables, functions, classes, etc. So we have certain rules while giving names to the variables or identifier. When you declare identifier, a name, we have certain rules. So this table shows you the correct or valid and invalid identifiers. So look at the first, a valid identifier. We have hello world, and in case of invalid identifier we have hello world, but as you can see there is a space in between hello and world, and that is the reason this is invalid identifier. Now consider you are declaring a variable. How you assign a name to a variable? Can a variable name include a space in between? So can you declare a variable like this? For example, okay, look at this. If I want to declare a variable, if I say int, and if I declare a variable say sum, space number. So this type of declaration, it is not a valid declaration because we have a space in the variable name. Variable name should not have a space. So this is invalid identifier. So names of variables, methods, and classes, it is called as identifier. So this identifier, it is not a valid identifier. We cannot have a space in between the variable name. If you want, you can include an underscore in between, but you cannot have a space. Okay, the second valid identifier is hi underscore Java. So this is a valid identifier, a valid name, but in case of this invalid, we have hi Java and exclamation mark. So what is the problem with this second hi Java? The problem is use of punctuation mark. We have used a punctuation mark, that is exclamation symbol here, and that is invalid identifier. this particular symbol cannot be used in the variable names or method names or class names. Remember this, because all those names you are going to use for classes, methods and variables. So punctuation marks you cannot use in the identifiers. Even space cannot be used. Most of the students make mistake while declaring variables. They give space or class name. They use space for it, but space cannot be used. Okay, then we have a third example. So we have value 3. This is a valid identifier. But if you declare 3 value, this is an invalid identifier. Your variable name, class name or method name should not start with a digit. And the same rules are followed even in C programming language, remember. It should not start with a digit. You can have a digit in between or at the end of a name, but you cannot have a digit at the beginning. Then we have a variable name, valid, that is tall. It is a valid identifier, but short is not a valid identifier, because short is a keyword in Java. We have int, short, long. These are keywords. I hope you know what is keyword now. These are reserved words, and these reserved words cannot be used as an identifier. Do you declare a variable with a name float? No, you do not declare a variable with a name float or with a name while, because these are keywords. These keywords cannot be used as variable names. Okay, then we have one more example, dollar of age. This is a valid identifier, remember, dollar is allowed and it can be the first character also in the identifier. Whereas hash age is not allowed. So the reason is, does not begin with any other symbol except underscore and dollar. So your identifier should not begin with a symbol other than underscore and dollar. Means it can begin with underscore or dollar, but other than these two symbols, no other symbols are allowed to use at the beginning of your identifier. So this is about identifier. As I've said, identifier simply represents the name for variables, methods and classes. Next is keywords. As I've told you about keywords, keywords are reserved words which has specific meaning in the language. So keywords are an essential part of a language definition. They implement specific features of the language. Java language has reserved words, 50 words as keywords. If you look at C programming also, as per ANSI C standard, there are 32 keywords in C programming. In Java, we have 50 keywords. So keywords, as I've told you, it is reserved words which has specific meaning. Can you name few keywords? Yes. Keywords, we have int, float, else, if, switch. In Java, we have some additional keywords like abstract. You can see it here. Abstract, synchronize, transiate, finally, package, true, float, private, public, byte. So there are around 50 keywords available in Java. So all these keywords have some specific meaning, like in case of switch, as you know, switch, it has a specific meaning. Float has a specific meaning. It is used to declare a variable of type float. Like all the keywords have some meaning. Okay, this is about keyword. Next, it is separator. Separators are used to inform the Java compiler of how things are grouped in the code. As you know, in the program, multiple different things are grouped. And if you take an example, like if you declare a variable, you declare say multiple variables. Every variable is separated by a comma in between. You have multiple statements in the program, and every statement in the program, it is separated by a semicolon. Same way, there are many other separators which are used in the program that we will study here. So we have some list of separators. Okay, look at these separators. The first, yes, it is semicolon. Semicolon, it is used to terminate the statements. In a program, every statement is terminated with a semicolon, as you know, and the statement is separated from other statement by using semicolon. So that is the first separator. Then we have a separator, that is comma. Comma, as I've told you, it is used to separate one variable from the other variable. You declare variable, say float a, comma b, comma c, comma d, like that. So a is separated from b by using a comma, b is separated from c by using a comma in between. So comma can be used there to separate the variables. Even a comma can be used to chain statements together inside a for loop. Inside a for loop, you can declare something like int for inside the round bracket. You may say I is equals to 0, comma j is equals to 0, comma k is equals to 1. So you can chain statements together in the for loop by using comma as well. Okay, then we have a next separator, that is the flower brackets. As you know, flower brackets are generally used to block statements or to create a block of statements. So used to contain values of automatically initialized arrays. So array values can be included inside the flower bracket. If you are initializing an array, assigning some values to the array at the time of declaration, then you can use flower brackets, which simply groups the values of an array inside the flower bracket. Also used to define block of code. As I've told you, those flower brackets can be used to group block of code. You can have multiple block of codes grouped inside the flower bracket. Even this acts as a separator there. It is used for classes. As we have seen a simple program, you have seen when we declare a class, after the class declaration we have a flower bracket open, and at the end we have a flower bracket close. So there also we can use flower brackets. Even in case of methods, flower brackets are used. And even in local scope in a program, we can have a local scope by using flower brackets. So those braces or brackets can be used as a separator which separates the block of code from other block of code. Then we have something called as parenthesis, or we call it as round brackets. So used to contain a list of parameters in the method definition. Yes, when you declare a method, inside the round bracket you pass some parameters to the method definition. So it is used to separate these parameters in the method by using parenthesis, and also used for defining precedence in expression. So it is also used to define precedence, like if you have an expression like a into b plus c. So as per the rule, a into b is executed first because multiplication has higher precedence than the plus or addition. But you can change the precedence by using the parenthesis. You can write the same expression like a plus a into b in bracket, actually a into in bracket b plus c. So that will change the precedence. In this case, b plus c is executed first and then it is multiplied with a. So it is also used to change the precedence. And also in control statements we use parenthesis, you use while statement, for statement. There also you use the parenthesis. Then we have one more separator, that is brackets, or we call it as square brackets. Used to declare array types. Along with array types you use square brackets. Also used when dereferencing array values. When reading the array values, for say I may declare it like a of 1. So that means I am reading the value located at place 1 from an array. Consider a as an array, and I am dereferencing means I am reading the value in the array at the location 1. So there also we use this square brackets or simply brackets. So these acts as a separator there, which separates from it from other variables. Then we have a dot or a period symbol used to separate package names from subpackages and classes. Also used to separate variables or methods from reference variable. So dot, if you look at, we have already seen I think import statement where we have used something like java dot io. So java dot io. So dot is used in between here. You can see this dot is used in between to separate a package from its subpackage. So we will study about package, subpackage in detail in the later section. But the important thing here is the separator, the dot separator. It is used to separate packages from other packages. Even it is used to separate the reference variable from the method. So later section we will study about these separators in detail. So next thing, it is literals. So literals in Java are sequence of characters. The characters can be digits like 0 to 9 digits. It can be letter, it can be other characters that represent constant values to be stored in variables. So the values which you store in the variables are literals, and these are constant values. Like in a integer variable you may store a value that is 10, 20, 30. So these values you can call it as literals of type digit or integer literals. You may store some names in a string variable, and that is called as string literal. So we have totally 5 major types of literals. The literals of type integer, float, character, string and boolean. Integer literals are all whole numbers. So all whole numbers are integer literals. I may say 0, 1, 55, 100, 200, 300, whatever numbers. So all these numbers, whole numbers, are said to be integer literals, integer values. Whereas floating point literals represents the fractional numbers, say 1.5, 2.5, 30.5, 80.89 or something like that. All these are called as floating point literal. Even exponential values are said to be floating point literals. In case of character literal, the characters enclosed in single quote are said to be character literals. Remember, characters enclosed in single quote are said to be character literals in Java. So this is a character literal which is enclosed in single quote. Whereas if you enclose something inside double quotes, this is said to be a string literal. So this is said to be a string literal. If you enclose something in the double quote, it is said to be a string literal in Java. So if I say ki in double quotes, if I say A. What type of literal it is? Is it a character literal or a string literal? When I say character, usually it is a single character. When I say string, usually it is one or more characters. But if I declare in double quotes A, is it a character literal or a string literal? It is a string literal. As I have told you, anything enclosed in double quotes, it is said to be a string literal. Whether it is a single character or multiple character doesn't matter. But if it is enclosed in double quotes, it is a string literal. Then we have Boolean literal. Boolean literals have only two values. These values are true and false. So these are called as Boolean literals, true and false. Okay, so this is about literals. So we have studied about literals. The next is operators. As you know about operators, operators are some symbols which are used to perform some operation on the operands. So operator is a symbol that takes one or more arguments or operands and operate on them to produce the result. So we have operators like plus, minus, into. There are different types of operators also which are available. Java also uses a similar types of operators which have been used in C programming language. So let's see some of the operators here. We have the operators here, arithmetic operators. We have relational operators. We have logical operators. We have some special operators available in Java. So operators, I can see, yes, these are symbols which performs a particular operation on the operands passed to it. Okay, this is about operator. In detail we will study about operator in the later section. Okay, that's it. In today's session we have studied the Java tokens. So remember, there are 5 different types of tokens. These are keywords, identifiers, literals, operators and separators. Okay, we will stop here. Thank you.